you keep forgetting English words after studying them? You're not alone. Most English learners face this exact same problem. But today, everything changes. I'm going to show you my 4-step scene method that will help you naturally remember English vocabulary forever. This isn't another boring memorization technique. This is how native speakers actually learn and remember words. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll discover a completely new way to master English vocabulary. Introduction. Before we dive into the 4 steps, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how native English speakers never study word lists? Yet they keep learning new words naturally every day. That's because they use what I call the scene method. They learn words through real-life situations and connections. I discovered this method after teaching English for many years. I saw how my students struggled with traditional vocabulary learning. They would memorize words today and forget them tomorrow. It was frustrating and ineffective. But then everything changed when I developed this scene method. My students started remembering words easily. They began thinking in English naturally. And most importantly, they never forgot the words they learned. Today, I'm going to share all 4 steps of this method with you. These are the exact same steps that helped thousands of my students transform their English vocabulary. Whether you're a beginner or advanced learner, these steps will work for you. Here's what we'll cover. Step 1. Scene Immersion, where you'll learn how to create natural learning environments. Step 2. Connection Building, where you'll discover how to make words stick in your memory. Step 3. Active Usage, where you'll learn how to make new words part of your daily life. Step 4. Natural Review System, where you'll master the art of never forgetting words. Are you ready to transform the way you learn English vocabulary? Let's begin with Step 1. Step 1. Scene Immersion. Imagine walking into your kitchen every morning. You see your coffee maker, cups, plates, and refrigerator. Without even thinking, you know all these words in your native language. Why? Because you didn't learn them from a book. You learned them naturally by using them every day. This is exactly how the scene method works. Let me show you exactly how this works in your kitchen scene. Look at your coffee maker. In traditional learning, you just memorize coffee maker. But in the scene method, you see it, touch it, and use it every morning. You hear the sound it makes. You smell the coffee brewing. All your senses are involved. This is what I call 360-degree learning. Now here's the exciting part. Your kitchen is just one scene. Think about your bathroom, bedroom, office, or favorite cafe. Each location is a natural vocabulary classroom. But here's the key. Don't try to learn everything at once. That's the biggest mistake most English learners make. Instead, let's start with just your morning routine. When you wake up tomorrow morning, try this simple exercise. As you enter your kitchen, touch 3 objects and say their names in English. That's all. Just 3 objects. It might be cup, spoon, and table. Do this every morning for 1 week. Trust me, you'll never forget these words. Here's why this works so well. In traditional learning, your brain sees words as information to memorize. But in scene immersion, your brain sees words as tools you actually use. Just like you never forget how to use a spoon or open a door, you won't forget these words because they're part of your real life. Let me show you another powerful trick. Choose one scene. Let's say your bathroom. During your morning routine, touch each object and say 3 things. Its name, its color, and what you do with it. For example, this is my white toothbrush. I brush my teeth with it. Simple, right? But incredibly effective. Some of you might be thinking, but I already know basic words like cup and spoon. Perfect. Then you'll use these familiar words as anchors to learn more advanced vocabulary. Your cup isn't just a cup. It's a ceramic mug with a handle, containing hot, freshly brewed coffee with a hint of caramel creamer. Here's your simple action plan for scene immersion. First, pick your starting scene. Your kitchen or bathroom is perfect because you use them every day. Second, touch and name 3 objects in English every time you enter this scene. Third, describe each object with one simple sentence. Do this for just 1 week, and you'll be amazed at how naturally you remember these words. The beauty of scene immersion is that it fits perfectly into your daily life. No extra study time needed, no boring word lists, just natural, effective learning that happens while you live your normal life. Remember, the key is to start small. 3 objects, 1 scene, 7 days. That's all you need to begin. Once these words become natural, we'll move to the next step, connection building, where I'll show you how to expand your vocabulary even further. Think of scene immersion as planting seeds in fertile soil. Each word you learn this way becomes deeply rooted in your memory, ready to grow into fluent English expression. In our next step, I'll show you a powerful secret that makes these words stick in your memory forever. And it's something most English teachers never talk about. Stay tuned for Step 2, connection building. Step 2, connection building. Now that you've chosen your scene, it's time for the most exciting part, building powerful connections that make words stick forever in your memory. Let me show you exactly how this works. Remember when you learned to ride a bicycle? You didn't just memorize the steps. You connected the movement with balance, the feeling of wind, and maybe even the smell of a summer day. That's exactly how we're going to learn vocabulary, by building rich, meaningful connections. Let's use your kitchen scene as an example. Look at your refrigerator. Most English learners would just memorize refrigerator or fridge. But we're going to create 3 powerful types of connections. First, visual connections. Your refrigerator isn't just a box. It's tall, white, and cold. It has shelves inside. There are magnets on the door. Every time you look at it, say, "My tall white fridge keeps food cold." This simple sentence connects 5 words naturally. Tall, white, fridge, food, and cold. Second, action connections. What do you do with your fridge? You open it, close it, put food in, take food out. Each morning, as you open your fridge, say, "I'm opening the fridge to get some milk." Now you're connecting the object with natural actions. This is exactly how native speakers think. Third, emotional connections. This is the secret ingredient most English courses miss completely. When you open your fridge, how do you feel? Happy to find your favorite snack? Disappointed when the milk is finished? Use these feelings. Say, "Great, there's still some juice left," or "Oh no, the milk is finished." Here's a simple exercise to practice all 3 connections. I call it the morning story. When you open your fridge tomorrow morning, tell a tiny story. "I'm hungry. I open my tall white fridge. Great, I see some fresh eggs. I take them out to make breakfast." See how many natural connections you just made? But here's the most powerful trick. Make it personal. Maybe your fridge has a dent from when your kids played basketball inside. Maybe it makes a funny sound. Maybe it has your favorite vacation photos on it. Use these personal details in your story. Personal connections are the strongest memories. Let me give you another practical example. Look at your coffee maker. Create your connections. Visual. My black coffee maker sits on the counter. Action. I fill it with water and press the button. Emotional. I love the smell of fresh coffee. Now, here's your simple action plan for connection building. Choose 3 objects in your scene. For each object, create 1 visual, 1 action, and 1 emotional connection. Tell a tiny story using these connections. Do this every day for just 1 week. Some of you might think, "But this will take too much time." Actually, it takes less than a minute. You're already in your kitchen, already using these objects. Just add English words to what you're naturally doing. Here's why this method is so powerful. Your brain loves connections. Each connection is like a hook that holds the word in your memory. With traditional learning, you have one hook, the word itself. With our method, you have multiple hooks: visual, action, and emotional. The more hooks, the stronger the memory. Remember, we're not just learning words. We're building a network of natural English expressions. Each connection makes your English more natural, more fluent, and more enjoyable to use. Think of it like building a web. Each word connects to others through sight, action, and feeling. Soon, you'll find yourself thinking in English naturally without translation, because these connections become automatic, just like in your native language. But knowing words isn't enough. In step 3, I'll show you a simple trick that will make these words flow naturally in your daily conversations. You won't want to miss this. Step 3, active usage. Now you have your scenes and your connections. But here's a question. Have you ever studied a word many times, but when you needed to use it in conversation, it just wouldn't come out? This is what I call the knowing using gap. In step 3, I'll show you how to bridge this gap forever. Think about how children learn to talk. They don't just listen. They experiment with words all day long. Sometimes they make mistakes, but they keep trying until speaking becomes natural. This is exactly what we're going to do with our scene method. Let me show you a powerful technique I call scene narration. It's simple but incredibly effective. As you move through your scene, let's say your kitchen, narrate your actions out loud in English. Here's how. Start with basic narration. I'm walking to the fridge. I'm opening the door. I'm taking out the eggs. Then add details. I'm taking out 3 fresh eggs from the middle shelf. Finally, add thoughts and feelings. These eggs look perfect for my omelet. I'm excited to try this new recipe. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. But I'll feel silly talking to myself. Here's a simple solution. Pretend you're making a cooking video in English. Many of my students find this really fun, and it removes all the awkwardness. Here's another powerful trick called object chat. Choose any object in your scene and have a 30-second conversation with it. Yes, it sounds funny, but it works amazingly well. Talk to your coffee maker. Good morning, my friend. Ready to make some delicious coffee? You always help me start my day right. This playful approach makes learning natural and memorable. The best part? You can practice anywhere, anytime. Waiting for your coffee to brew? Perfect time for practice. Heating something in the microwave? Another opportunity. Use these small moments throughout your day. Let me share a secret technique that my most successful students use. I call it the TV host method. Pretend you're showing a foreign friend around your kitchen. Explain everything as if they've never seen these objects before. This is a fascinating kitchen tool we call a whisk. We use it to beat eggs and mix ingredients. The special design helps add air to the mixture. Here's your simple action plan for active usage. Morning. Basic narration of your routine. Afternoon. Detailed descriptions of 3 objects. Evening. TV host explanations of what you're doing. Start small, just 2 to 3 minutes in total throughout your day. The key is consistency, not quantity. Even this small amount of practice, done regularly, will transform your English. Remember, mistakes are your friends. Every time you make a mistake and correct it, you're actually building stronger connections in your brain. This is how natural learning works. Many students ask me, but what if I don't know all the words I need? This is where your previous scene work helps. Use the words you know, and when you find a word you need but don't know, add it to your scene connections. Your vocabulary will grow naturally this way. The magic of active usage is that it transforms English from something you study into something you actually use. It's like turning a detailed map into a journey you're actually taking. Every word becomes part of your lived experience. And here's something amazing. After just 1 week of practicing active usage, many of my students report that English words start coming to them automatically, without translation. They start thinking in English naturally within their scenes. But knowing how to use words in your scenes is just the beginning. In our next step, I'll reveal a revolutionary system that makes sure you never forget these words. And the best part is, it takes almost no extra time from your day. Stay tuned for Step 4. The Natural Review System. Step 4. The Natural Review System. Have you ever noticed how you never forget to brush your teeth or how to ride a bicycle? That's because these activities are part of your natural routine. In this final step, I'll show you how to review English vocabulary just as naturally. No flashcards, no apps, no extra study time needed. Most English learners make a critical mistake with review. They set aside special time to review words, usually when they're tired after work or school. But think about it. When was the last time a native English speaker scheduled vocabulary review time? Never. They review naturally through daily use, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Let me introduce you to what I call the time trigger system. It's brilliantly simple. Instead of scheduling review time, you'll use daily triggers, things you do anyway, as review moments. Here's how it works. Every time you enter your kitchen, name 3 objects you see. Every time you open your fridge, describe 1 item inside. Every time you make coffee, narrate 1 step of the process. These triggers happen naturally throughout your day. You're not adding any extra time. You're just adding English to what you already do. Here's another powerful technique called scene scanning. When you first enter any scene, your kitchen, bathroom, office, take 5 seconds to scan the room and mentally name everything you can in English. Just 5 seconds. It's like taking a quick English snapshot of your environment. Now, let me share a secret that makes this system incredibly effective. I call it the connection loop. Each time you review, add 1 tiny new detail. For example, Day 1. This is my coffee maker. Day 2. This is my black coffee maker. Day 3. This is my black coffee maker that makes delicious coffee. See how each day builds on the previous one? You're not just reviewing, you're growing your English naturally. Many students ask me, but how do I know if I'm reviewing enough? Here's a simple way. Use the 3 times rule. Try to interact with each important word in your scene 3 times per day. Sounds like a lot? It's not. Remember, morning, name it afternoon, use it in a sentence. Evening, tell a mini story with it. The beauty of this system is that it's failure-proof. Even if you forget to review sometimes, your daily routines will trigger you to get back on track automatically. It's like having an English learning autopilot. Let me share another powerful technique, question rotation. Each day, ask yourself a different question about objects in your scene. Monday, what color is this? Tuesday, what do I use this for? Wednesday, when did I last use this? Thursday, how do I feel about this? Friday, what other objects is this related to? This keeps your reviews fresh and interesting, and it builds different types of connections each day. Here's your simple action plan for natural review. Choose 3 daily triggers in your scene. Set up your question rotation schedule. Start with just 5-second scene scans. Add 1 new detail each day. Remember, natural review isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. Even a 5-second review, done regularly with your daily activities, is more effective than an hour of cramming vocabulary lists. Think of this system like maintaining a garden. You don't need to dig up the plants to check if they're growing. Just give them regular, gentle care, and they'll flourish naturally. your English vocabulary will grow the same way. Now you have all 4 steps of the SEEN method: SEEN immersion, connection building, active usage, and natural review. Together, they form a complete system for mastering English vocabulary naturally and permanently. But here's something exciting. What I've shared today is just the beginning. In our next video, I'll show you how to combine these 4 steps to handle any English situation confidently. From job interviews to casual conversations with native speakers. Click the subscribe button so you don't miss it, and let me know in the comments which step you're most excited to try first. Summary and conclusion. Let's quickly review what you've learned today. A complete system that will transform how you learn and remember English vocabulary forever. In step 1, SEEN immersion, you discovered how to turn your daily environments into natural English learning spaces. Just like a child learning their first language, you're learning through real-life experience, not textbooks. In step 2, connection building, you learned how to create powerful memory links using visual, action, and emotional connections. Remember, the more connections you make, the stronger your English becomes. Step 3, active usage, showed you how to bridge the gap between knowing and using English. With simple techniques like SEEN narration and the TV host method, you're building natural speaking habits every day. And finally, in step 4, the natural review system, you learned how to maintain your English vocabulary effortlessly using daily triggers and the connection loop technique. Practical next steps. Here's what I want you to do right after this video. 1. Choose your first scene. Start with your kitchen or bathroom. 2. Pick 3 daily triggers in that scene. 3. Try the SEEN narration technique for just 2 minutes. Free resource. To help you get started, I've created a free SEEN method worksheet. Click the link in the description below to download it. This worksheet will guide you through setting up your first scene and tracking your progress. Peer review of next video. In next week's video, I'll show you how to use the SEEN method for advanced English conversations. You'll learn how to handle job interviews, business meetings, and casual chats with native speakers confidently. Make sure you don't miss it by clicking the subscribe button and the notification bell. Community engagement. Now I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, which scene will you start with? What's your biggest English vocabulary challenge? Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Start small, be consistent, and trust the process. Your English journey is about to become much more natural and enjoyable. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. This is Rober from Simple Spoken English, and together, we're making English learning natural and fun.